Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with a premium deck profile. If you check the thumbnail, and this time we're covering Shadow Paladin. So this is a build that I actually upgrade very recently with like a idea that I want to try to make it come true. And I play tested it. I make some changes. So I will be uploading some fight videos of it, but then it will be a version before I make the change. So it's only slight difference, which I will tell you in a bit, but most stuff that I'm going to talk in this second file will be like you can actually see how it get played even before the change. It's just changing a little bit on triggers to like enhance the experience. So yeah, without further ado, let's go through the deck list. So because there's a lot to go through. So starter, I think you can use any V starter that you want to. It doesn't really matters too much as long as you get the draw, you get a quick shield. I think that's totally fine. And then for Grave Freeze, we are running a very mixed choice. First, we have two of the G era Claret sword, mainly for the speed stride, especially when you go first. This also will gives you two force markers, which is very important. I did try a game or two without doing that, and it's still kind of painful, but sometimes you have to kind of give up that options, even though the force marker is very attractive, but you sometimes need to catch up with the speed through other strides. Yeah, so that's something that we need to be careful. And then I'm running two of the V era Claret sword. Do remember he does not have the supremacy dragon kind of name there, so you can't special stride on him through the name, and of course because you will be getting the force marker, so you can't activate that skill as well. But do remember about that. But why we are using this is because his withstanding skill with Chain Ranker is still quite threatening. So I think it's like giving you a gear switch chance. But if you are like using your stride searcher to directly grab a Claret sword, usually you will be grabbing this card unless you already have a copy, right? Which you go into this, gain two force markers, switch into this, gain another force marker. That's usually all the force markers that you will be using. It's not that the only one that you need. Of course, if we have more, that would be great, but usually with this build, with this playstyle, you don't actually get that much. Alright, and then we have our miracle faded cards here. The reason I'm putting it here is for a few reasons. One, that the Define skill can be copied by Chain Ranker, so you don't need to stay on it as a grave free, and you can just go into your Chain Ranker, copy the skill, so you have an extra protection to yourself, even though it's not guaranteed. If you don't hit a trigger on your 6 damage, you still die. But like when we are in a deck type that feeling deck so much and we are milling ourselves as well, we kind of want something that prevents us from decking out. So this is one way, by using the Define skill to put our crit back, and then you have a higher chances to meet triggers while they are being crits, and you get to do multiple attacks, right? Because your first skill, when this attacks the Vanguard, you can still kind of last one and call two different grades, that the total grades will be the same or below the amount of damage you got as multiple attacker, and you already gained two force markers through your Claret sword stride. So you will be having two plus 10k attacks already, and then use this to call two back so you can do 5 attacks still, and because you're using Chain Ranker, you're asking your opponents to give you 3 cards every single attack from hand if they card from hand. So I think this is still a very interesting tag to do, and the faded one is kind of just fit into most decks, but I think with this is actually even more fit because we are milling a deck very fast. So sometimes I'm going for this, gain the force markers, going to this to do a restanding threat, and then go into this to kind of making the game longer if I need it, right? So I have extra protections, I mill myself enough and then put other crit threats and just go in. But do remember, once you use your define skill, you can't run into these anymore. You can only run into him again, which I have another copy, so you can do personal ride for it if you actually hold into 2 copies. But these ones will only become your basically regards because you cannot ride Claret Sword again. So make sure you try to do things with your Claret Swords before you go into this, or before you activate your define skill, then you should be fine. Alright, and then next, 4 of the Dark Dragon. So this is a mill card. You don't always have to mill. You at least will get 5k on it's really your grade 2 ride. You will get the plus 5k, and then if you like early stage, if you ride it as a grade 2, I usually will just mill 3, see if I can kind of last one to draw an extra card because we don't run a lot of draws, and like some extra +1 would be great. Milling some great ones will also be great, but I have a lot of chances that I actually mill my OT. That's some kind of risk that you need to take on. Right. And then speaking of Claret Sword support, we also have our Morian Speed Dragon. Now he is a good beater, but then you do need to Soul Blast one and discard a card. So do be careful on that. That's also a reason why I'm not running that much. I'm running more on the Dark Pride, because he will always get me something plus, and this, even though I do get plus power, I need to Soul Blast and discard a card, which sometimes is a big cost. But if you are looking for ways to fill up your drop with your great ones, because like this you need to bind 7, and sometimes if you are using other cards that requires your drop to have certain number of cards, then this can at least help you out. And then I'm running this little guy here. He is a D era card and was pumping up in price so much because of Lure. Now I don't think it's that much anymore, but this card allows me to basically grab anything that is the same clan as my Vanguard, which is Shadow Paladin. So I can pick up PG Sword, I can pick up some good supports if I need to. So I think putting one there is fine, and that's basically all my grade 3s and 2s you see is very low, because I'm trying to keep my grade 1s ratio a lot higher. It's kind of affected by how I play D, but so far with the grade 3s I think it's fine because we do have ways to search these cards. But the problem is the grade 2, if you actually see a grade 2 in your opening hand, make sure you don't mulligan it, because there's a few matches that I actually need to G assist on the grade 2s, but so far I don't think I can put more in, maybe a 1 or 2 max, but I do need to leave space for a lot of great ones. Okay, now next will be Honolly. Just in case if you are seeing like a lot of multiple attacking decks, then at least you get get yourself some backup. Else you should be fine, because you will be, for example, if you're on this, then you probably will be doing 4 attacks. If you're on this, you're probably doing 4 attacks, and only when you go into this will be 5. So I think that should be fine. It won't be affecting you that much. And of course, if you are like seeing this card not helping you too much, you can simply just put it into the drop zone so that it can be counted as an extra grade 1 that you need to count for. Totally fine. And then Abyssal Owl, because it's a very good draw resources and something that you will always want to pull out if you're on the main. I'm running 3 of each as a package, which increase my grade 1 counts, because in this deck you don't only need a lot of grade 1s in your drop zone, you also need to have at least 3 grade 1s on your field to activate the guard block from Rancor Chain, so a Chain Rancor. So yeah, do be careful. And these are very good options for you to just keep certain amounts of grade 1s on board. If they got popped, they get popped. Nothing too much we can do. And then another Claret support will be blue Espada Dragon. It's still like, you still need to look at 3 cards to at least you get a chance to find your grade 2, you get a chance to find your Claret Sword to add it to your hand, which is very good. And in the later game, he can usually get plus 10k, because your drop zone you will be so easy to get 5 or more grade 1s. So with the force marker, he can just hit 28k by himself. I think it's in numbers already quite great. Yeah, he can, as long as you can try to recycle him, he will definitely be helping you out through different ways, through attacking, through milling, and such. And then running one of the Sage of Risk decrimps. So he is here to increase my defense, while I might actually play 5 grade 1s on board, which also will benefit my Strict Auto Knight Duelist for the extra power plus. Yeah, and sometimes I actually put these to the front, especially the Owl, because I have the force marker, so you can just swing for a simple 15 even while I'm doing like a 3 card guard. So if my opponents don't have any intercepts, then yeah, they just need to give you a lot of resources. And after that, you can just bring him out and say, okay, my front row units will be able to intercept, so they are extra tanky shield. So if you want to get rid of them, make some effort to do it. So yeah, that's basically fine. And even if he gets popped, we always have G guards to move grade 1s to the Guardian zone. So it's a kind of backup plan, and so far he's doing me good. But 1 is enough, because other than giving grade 1s intercept, he basically does nothing here. So there we go. And then we have 2 of the Mage of Entwined Roots emerging. So she is a one-off, basically, because when this card will be bound from your drop zone by ability of your Claret Dragon, if you have 7 or more grade 1 cards in your bind zone, this card is regarded as 7 grade 1 cards. So the thing good about this is after you binding enough, you actually can just save. And I'm putting 2 there because usually I won't be activating it that much, to be honest. Yeah, but it's really good because you don't always draw into this when you go into your Claret Swords. And without a lot of grade 1s, even though we run quite a lot, having 2 extra protections for you to like bind them away, I think is really good. So yeah, she's still very important here. If you need to discard, you can still use her first skill. When discard from your hand during a turn, look at 3 cards at the top of the deck, put 1 card into the drop zone, and rest to the bottom of the deck in any order. So still can help you out sometimes. For example, when you use this to ditch, or when you use this to ditch. So totally fine. And you can definitely call this out to be your attacker, because you always have a force marker, and then you just need to do it properly, set it up, then your Claret Sword Withstand should help you at least pressure your opponents enough, and if not, then you can go to your favorite cards. Okay, and then 2 of the Strife Order, because this can simply search for these, but you do be careful that we can't use it to activate our early strike. By early strike, I mean the strike linking to Claret Sword, because it's not a normal strike. So yeah, do be careful about that. And then on the PGs, I'm running 1 of the normal unit PGs, 1 of the Vids Order, 2 of the draws. So this should allows me to kind of get prepared for most situations. If I'm restricted to play normal units, then I can use draw PGs. If I'm like limited to call Great Zeros, I can go for these, right? If I get a very heavy hand restrict, for example, like Chain Ranker, I can get this, right? So so far I think this can cover most of the stuff. In worst case, this you can just simply ride on it and do an extra hand exchange, so it isn't bad at all, but I won't be calling it down as a Guardian. So no, not Guardian, as a Reguard. Sorry about that. I'm not calling it as a Reguard. So it's ride or uses the PG. That's it. Other triggers. KDOT, because I'm not running several dragons, I don't think that matters. And then the drive check is usually just 1, because I won't be playing too much break freeze on board, except I go into my favorite cards. Then because I can't ride my Claret Swords anymore, then I will do it. Okay. And then for heals, I'm running 3 of the Heal Guardians and then 1 of the updated heal. So I have a chance to soul charge or counter charge if I want to, but most of the time I do want the Heal Guardians as a protection early game so I can survive. And don't forget they are also great freeze, so whenever you need to activate your early stride, they can be a valid target. And then crits, I'm running in this ratio. The reason I'm still using this is because I don't have a 4th copy, but if you do have a 4th copy, make sure you turn into that, because it's an extra draw for you. And then Strife Order crit is that's free here, so it's a total of 7 crits. So it's important. I try to run 6, and then I turn back to 7, which get a good balance with the Strife Order crit. So after the first speed stride, I can just use this one to stride, and then I add in 2 of the trying to get fronts. I try the 3 of the stand triggers. That brings me 2 units. They can be useful if I actually need, like, in quantity. For example, if I only have 1 Great One, I need to go into Chain Ranker to finish the game. Then if there's only 1 card in my hand, then I would like it to be the stand trigger to bring me 2 Great Ones. But usually if it's that kind of bad, you probably lose already. So and I see a lot of chances that I go in with my Vanguard a lot of times, usually in the first 2 attacks. So rather than using the stands, which probably won't be standing anything because I probably will already be replacing another unit, then I should just simply go for things that benefits my standing regards, which will be front triggers, because my Vanguard is stand, so everything that applies as a front trigger will help everything basically. Yeah. So now let's go through the G zone first. Harmonix Messiah, we need the Guardian Shield. It's a good flip target, so nothing too much to say there. And then here is the other stride. Let's starting with Dark Knight Grim Recruiter. So the Diablos in here are proxies for these two units, because I don't have them somehow. This one I do believe I have a second copy, but I can't find it, so do remember these are twos, these are twos. The Diablos are only proxies for one of each of these, to make it simple. Now the Dark Knight Grim Recruiter is the speed stride for us to go for with our G-era Claret sword, so we can get the force markers, we can get a early multiple attack scene, we can build up your board, and it activates your GB2, so next turn you can already go into Chain Ranker to do your threatening plays, no matter it's restand, Garrett Strikes, or simply go with the G-era Claret sword and gain crit, you can still do that, right? So that's very important. And then with Claret sword Helheim is a backup plan. Usually you don't need to try into this card because you're going to this and then you're going to Chain Ranker, maybe sometimes more Fessa. That's basically it. But this is when you starting to use a lot of resources, and then you start turning all the great ones back into your deck with G-Guards, because there are G-Guards to return your great ones, and then you can consider using this. But you have to basically place your force markers before, at least have two of them on the one of each on the regard circles, else if you call it great one, they might not be that kind of threatening. Yeah, and this is kind of applying the pressure to your opponent, because if they use Sentinel, they use G-Guardians, or somehow they let you hit, that generates more attacks. Yeah, and then with the combo of the force markers, they get scary. And then Dark Knight, Crouch. So this is reprinted in the Revengers deck set, which I don't have a copy before, and I'm glad to have one right now. These two as well. Also the Hue Guardians to me. So this is a kind of simplified version of Diablos, kind of, because with Phantom Blaster Diablo, you kind of pressure your opponents through power and crit, and this is through power and restand. So I think the restand threat is more hard, and this doesn't require you to do a G-flip, because even though G-flips is great, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you kind of need to slow down. You don't always want to flip a lot of stuff, or it's not the right time yet, or there are definitely free regards that you feel very annoying from your opponent, and then you can use this to force them to actually retire those. Okay, next two of the Mofessa, because Mofessa is a good draw power, is another way of guard restrictions. With this deck build, it's quite easy to get 10, so she's there, but I don't use her very often because Chain Ranker is definitely going to do the job, and I'm running 3 of them, so kind of make sure I save 2 for my Claret Sword, and then 1 for the Fatal ones, or sometimes 1 for Claret Sword, 2 for the Fatal ones if I need it, depending on the situation. And then we are going through the G guards. First, a G flip, Gelito. It's an extra shield value that you can actually draw cards, and a lot of our great ones are 10k shield, so that can make the shield a little bit tough. And then we are running a Bronak. I rarely use her because I mill my deck very fast. But if you don't get to mill your deck very fast, then and you need kind of a chance to get some big shield, then she can help you out because she looks at top 5 of the deck and call all the great ones, and most of our great ones are 10k shield. So kind of like her, that you can benefit from it. And then the new G guard, Deep Griever Dragon. So with this, you can just return your great ones to the bottom of the deck, a maximum of 5. And if you do 5, you can have last one and it can become a PG. If not, for each great one you return, it will get plus 5k shield. So even without the counter blast to turn it into a PG, you return 5 is still a 40k shield. So it's quite big, and it's a one-time extra protection basically, right? So I think it's needed. If you can get more, you probably will put more, but I want to have the variety on things, so I think this is okay. And then I'm running Plot Maker Dragon. It's a simple plus 10k G guard, and then Darkfire Dragon because I run a lot of great ones, so you can get quite a lot of shields. Yeah, basically. But once you start using your Claret sword, this will be less useful. This probably will also be less useful. This maybe, but it depends. Yeah, so that's basically the deck list, and the idea is, like I said, you just go through the Great Freeze by G era Claret sword for the speed stride, and then go into V era Claret sword for the withstand threats, and then just keep milling your deck, keep doing your stuff, and then while you are like guarding hard with your crits, and when you have like 6 or even like all your crits to the drop zone, you go into your fader cards, turn the crits back into your deck while doing multiple attacks, and do also with your guard restrictions, try to win the game there. And then you have an extra copy in case you need the person right to push, then it's all up to you. Yeah, so you don't see me riding a lot of times. It's like 1 get 2 force marker, this get another force marker, this ending game, right? But do be careful. Even if you are using your fader cards, don't go like too confident into this, because do always check the total number of cards left in your deck and the triggers that is left in the deck. Because if you only have like 2 triggers while you have 7 cards, then it's quite dangerous still. But at least it gives you an extra chance when you actually need to take a hit while you're on 5. You at least have a chance that even if it's not a heal, as long as it's a trigger, you can still survive. So yeah, I think it's a good backup plan to go for, and this deck is still always be so fun to play with. I was like using 3 of these, and then plus 2 of the Later Lord, still in the G era, to play this deck before the updates. But now with actually get my hands on the Heal Guardians, some strides, more restored shields. Yeah, the deck becomes more fun to play with, and because of this, from the history collections, it makes the deck a lot faster. Because in the past, I actually need to rely on V-Era Claret Sword as my first ride to give pressure to my opponent if I can't strike. So giving the G-Era one a chance to go into first, go to stride, get our GB2 and do a lot of more things is really good updates. So I'm very happy to see these kind of updates, and please give us more. And I think this can actually bring a lot more people into premium. So like, even when I bought the Rezael deck set, the first thing I make is this. So yeah, you can see how important to get supports. Yeah, so I think that's it for this deck profile. If you have any sort of questions, feel free to let me know. Yeah, I will aim to make a other premium deck profiles as well, but so far this one is the one that I tested, so you see that coming out. Hopefully I can test more and just do more stuff, right? And unfortunately, I just remember that during my playtest I used this skill count wrong, but I will see how things goes. Maybe I'll just add a remark on this to show you guys that some parts are wrong, then show you how the deck works. I think it doesn't matter too much. I hope so. But let's see. Yeah. So again, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below. Subscribe for more deck profile, deck fights, unboxing videos. And that's it for it, guys. And thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.